Hello, WRN Pilot Program. So today I'm going to cover the Media Center, creating links, building emails, and uploading images. Boy, are we in for some fun. Now, if you already haven't downloaded the zip file media files, please do that. That's available right here on Basecamp, WRN Pilot Program, in Pilot Program tutorial videos, and you just scroll down to the bottom. Well, hopefully where you got this video, and the media files will be there as well. So anyway, have those files at the ready. So let's take a look at this amazing and totally cool email that I created in the SharpSpring platform. This is a test that I sent to myself and contains a few graphics and text. So I want to show you how to create this, and in going through this process, I'll be teaching you more about the email system. So make sure that you have the media files at the ready, and let's begin. So once again, I'm using Dr. Starler's profile as my guinea pig. So the first thing we're going to do is go over to the Content tab, and we're going to go to Media Center. Now, as you can see, nothing is here. So files that are uploaded to the Media Center are designed to be tracked and used in automation. What's that mean? Let's say Dr. Starler had a video about knee pain, and she had a revolutionary new treatment for it. Well, she wants to track people who watch that video. Not only that, but she wants to make sure that when they watch that video, that triggers a piece of automation. That could be it sends them an email thanking them for watching the video. The bottom line is ultimately we just don't want to send people graphics and emails that are a dead end, meaning they look at them, they say, oh, that's nice, and then they go away. Everything should link to the next step. We're always looking to turn people into buying customers, and that's what media in the Media Center does. It allows us to track their activity. Now, there's other ways to upload and use media, but we're going to start here first. So I'm going to go to the button New Media and click on it, and we're going to call this piece of media Scotty. You'll see why in just a moment. And we want to share this with the team, make it available in emails and available in the contact manager. Now, Scotty is a piece of video, and you can't upload video to this system. And the reason is, if we wanted to put a video in an email or a landing page, it would be a large file, which means it would take a long time to download. And when things take a long time, what do people do? They stop paying attention. So we don't send video in video files, we send video in links. So that means that we host video on a server or we have it uploaded to YouTube. So I've uploaded the video Scotty to my server, and I've also sent you in the media files zip, a text file, this text file with links. So we're going to copy Scotty, and we're going to click Provide a Link. And we're going to paste it right there, and then click Add Media. Now, as you can see, Scotty is in the miscellaneous section. It's not going to help you if all of your files are in one folder. It's going to be really hard to find. So we want to start segmenting things right away. So we'll go over to this gear, click on that, click Move to Folder, and because there's only one folder, and that's currently miscellaneous, we're going to click New Folder, and we'll call this Videos. Now, eventually, you're going to want to segment this even further. So if Dr. Starler had this, it might be knee pain videos, shoulder pain videos, health videos, nutritional videos. But for this purpose, we're just going to call it videos. So that immediately moves it to the videos folder. Now let's also upload an actual graphic, not a link, but an actual graphic. So we're going to click New Media, and we'll call this Dan and Doug. And again, we want to share that with everybody. We're going to click Upload a File, and we can either drag it here, but I'm just show you how to navigate. You can click here, and I'm going to navigate to my desktop. And there's a picture of Doug and I from the awards banquet. And then I'm going to click Add Media. It isn't added yet. I have to click Add Media. And there we go, Dan and Doug. Now you'll notice there aren't any previews of the images. In the Media Center, there aren't. So you have to name them well. You have to organize them well. And again, we don't want to leave this in miscellaneous. So we're going to move it to a new folder and call it WRN Images. And now we're going to do another video. We'll call this one St. Elmo's Fire, and you'll see why in just a minute. And again, we're going to provide a link, copy that, paste it there. And now, since we already have the folder videos, we can just go to this gear, move to folder, and move it to the videos. And there it goes. So actually, I'm going to do one more because I want to show you what happens when you link to a YouTube video. So this one is going to be profiles in success. Again, we'll share that with everything, and we're going to provide a link and grab the YouTube link. YouTube is going to be your best option for linking videos, and add media. And again, we're going to move this to the videos folder. Now, right now you don't see it, but in a few minutes it will update with a graphic. Now that's because in YouTube creates a thumbnail image for all of their videos, and this platform connects with that thumbnail image. So now that we have the videos and a WRN image, now what do we do? Well, let's go and create a email. So now we go to content and we go to email templates. Now this part of the system is similar to MailChimp or to iContact or Constant Contact. This is where we create, send, and track emails. Now they have templates available. So for instance, if you knew that you wanted to create an email that had two graphics up top and some text at the bottom, you can start there. If you have 4 graphics to send out, one big header graphic, three smaller graphics. But it's easy enough to set this up yourself. So I'm going to start with this one. I'm going to click Create Email, and we'll call this Test. And we'll make it available and add email. So not too impressive so far, right? Well, let's see what we can do with it. When you roll over an element, it gives you some options. You can move it around. You can edit. This says that you can add a rule to it to make it dynamic. I'll explain what that means in subsequent videos. You can duplicate it. So look, now you have 2 of them, and you can delete it. So now we're just back to 1. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to edit this. So we're going to click that edit block button. We can also edit it by just double clicking inside of it, and it goes right into the content editor. So first thing is we want to add a graphic right here. I know what you're thinking. Let's go to the Media Center and add some media. Well, actually, no. The Media Center is really about tracking media, not viewing media. I know, a little confusing, but I'm going to show you what that means, and I think it'll make sense. So here's the Media Center button. We're going to forget about that for a moment, and we're going to go over to this button that says Insert Edit Image. Doesn't look like much. Let's click on this little folder right there. Great, and now we're in the File Manager. So as you can see, we haven't uploaded anything, but that's exactly what we're going to do. So we're going to click Upload. Now you can either drag files here, or you can click Add Files and navigate to the area where you want to add files. So here are all the files that I sent you. Now with this, you can shift click and add them all at the same time. We're not going to add links because that's a text document. And we're going to click Open and then Upload. And one by one, it's going to upload all those nifty files. Up here it says Valid Extensions. These are the kinds of extensions that it can upload. So I've uploaded 2 versions of my logo, one larger and one smaller. Now they are named in a way that has the size, but in this configuration, I can't see what size they are. So we're looking at thumbnails. I'm going to look at it as a list, and there we go. Now I can see the size differences. So I'm going to click on the smaller one and click Insert. This just tells me the size that I'm uploading. I'm going to click OK, and there we go. There's my logo. Now in this, I can click on the logo and I can size it down. I can also size it up. I can make it larger than the actual file is, but you don't want to do that. If you upload a small file and drag this and make it larger, it's going to become pixelated. It's going to get blurry. The general rule of thumb is that you can size a file down, can't size it up. Best of all worlds is that you upload it exactly the size that you need it. If it's a larger file, it's going to take up more space, which means it's going to take a little longer to download. So I'm going to click Done, and there I have it so far. So I'm going to go back into the editor, and rather than having the graphic there and the text, I'm going to take this text out and just click Delete, and then click Done. And the reason is I want this as its own little block. So now, how do I add text? Well, over here is a button that says Content and Layout. Now we click on that, and this shows you all the options that you have for adding content and the layout of that content. So let's take a look back at the email that I created. As you can see under the graphic, it says what is marketing automation and why should you look into it. So let's see how to add that. Well, really simply, it's a text area. So we're going to drag this right underneath the graphic. I'm going to double click on it, and that'll take us into the editor. I'm going to highlight this and center it. Now, as you can see in doing so, it changed the size of it. And I want a little space between my logo and this text. So I'm just going to hit a return, and there we go. So I'm going to highlight this. Just use this and make it a little larger, and I'll make it bold. And maybe I'll make this italic. And I'm going to add a little space in between that too. There. And click done. Good, coming right around. So I'm going to click Save Changes. You want to consistently click that while you're creating an email. I don't think it saves on its own. And let's take a look at how we're doing with that email. All right, so next up is this graphic here. Again, we just go over to the content area, grab image, drag it in there, and as you can see, it's a lot bigger than we actually need, but that's okay. I'm going to double click. I'm now in the content editor. I'm going to click on it again. It highlights. I'm going to go over to insert and edit image, click on my little friend, the folder, and click on heads GIF, and click OK. And as you can see, it's over to the left, so I'm going to hit the center button and center it. So now, as you can see, I want to add this graphic here and this graphic here, and they're next to each other. So I'm going to go, we're back over in the content areas, and I'm going to look under layout, and I'm going to find two columns. So this will allow me to put graphics one right next to the other. I'm going to double click in here and say it's cool. And we're going to go grab the image called cool. And again, we're going to move these to the center. And I want this to say, it does lots of cool stuff. Put that in the center and make that bold. Done. And go back here and do the same. We'll double click here. We'll grab the other graphic, hot. And we'll change this. And we'll move these to the center. Now, as you can see, this is off a little bit. Why did that happen? Stuff happens. Just go back into the editor. It's added another little space there. We're just going to delete that space and maybe add a smaller one. Click done. And over here, this one isn't spaced correctly either. So I double clicked on that, add a little space, click done, and save changes. Right, so our little email is looking pretty good here. And of course, with any email, we don't want an email to be a dead end, so we want to give a call to action. So I'm going to grab a text layout, and it's going to say, click here if you want to know more. Now, it's too small. It's a little too close to these guys, so I'm going to go back in here, and I'm going to edit it. Make it a little larger, and make it bold, too large. And done. Save. So now we want to add a graphic underneath that. So there's a couple ways we can do that. I can grab this and just drag it over. And as you can see, when I drag it over, a little bar shows up that shows me where it's going to end up. Right? So I could just double click on that and add the graphic right in there. And I want to use this graphic. So click on it and click OK. And whoa, it's a lot bigger than I want it to be. So I'm going to size it down. I did not do a good job of making sure this is the size I wanted it, but it's still a small enough file it shouldn't be difficult to download. And maybe I'll make it just a little bit bigger. Okay, so that's one way of inserting that graphic. Let me show you a different way. I'm just going to delete that. I'm going to hit the delete button, and I'm going to go back over here and double click on that. So now I'm editing this. So I'm going to hit the return button and go down a couple spaces, and then click edit and insert image. And you can see I can do essentially the same thing. So what's the advantage of putting it as its own element as opposed to connecting it with this? So as you can see, this is now just one element. So if I were to move this around, I would be moving both that text and that graphic. This is how you want to start to organize your thoughts when it comes to creating an email. In that if you want to move things around that are linked together or that are one idea, for instance, click here if you want to know more in that graphic, that's one thing. So if I wanted to move this up to the top like that, so instantly I'm moving both of them, and I don't have to move that graphic and that text. So I'm just going to move it back. Oops. All right, so I inadvertently stuck it there because my screen is too small. So I'm just going to keep grabbing it and moving it. There we go. So there we have the email and this little piece of text there. I can just delete that. So I like this. It looks good. Let's say that I wanted to have 2 more of these. I could just click on the plus, add one there, add one there. So now I have 4 of those graphics. And if I wanted to move this one over, I could just grab that first little icon that looks like 2 arrows and just scoot it over there. It says, and it's hot, it's cool. So that's not right. Let me move it back. It's cool and it's hot. And I'm going to delete that one and that one. Now it looks like I have an empty holder right here, so I'm just going to delete that. Let's see if I can move this up a bit. Yeah, there we go. So there's my completed email. Looks pretty good, but there's a couple more things I want to do. First of all, I'm not liking this. Looks a little bit too close to that, so I'm going to click in here and just hit this a couple of times and move that down. Stylistically, looks a little bit better. All right. So what am I saying here? That marketing automation is cool like Captain Kirk, and it's hot like setting an Elmo doll on fire. Actually, not a really good marketing message, but overall it's okay for the demonstration. So again, we want things that people can click on. Our emails definitely have to be interactive. So let's go here first and click inside of here. Now we have a couple different elements. We have that text, we have the graphic, and we have that text there. So I'm just going to click on the graphic. And that little link button there, that allows me to add a link. So when someone clicks on that graphic, I want to send them someplace. So let's send them to this link called Scotty. Highlight that and copy it. And stick it there and click OK. So now when this comes to someone's email and they click on that, it will take them to that little video of Scotty. And we can do the same thing here. Click on that. We're going to do St. Elmo's Fire. Copy that. Paste that in the URL field. Click OK. Down here where it says click here if you want to know more. I want people to go to my website or to the landing page that covers marketing automation. You remember this landing page. This is the page that you signed up for this program on. So I'm just going to copy that. Click in here, highlight that, click on the link button, and then paste it right into there. And save changes. So I know what you're thinking. What about media, Dan? Well, I'm going to explain that in just a moment. Maybe you weren't thinking that, but you are now. Okay, so let's go ahead and send a test email just to see how this looks. So we're going to go to Options and send a preview email, and it has my email address in there. I'm going to click Send Preview, and in just a moment, it will come to my email. So here it is. It showed right up. Great. So let's see what happens when I click on the It's Cool. It takes me here.
The diplomat I know is a fully activated phaser bank.
Oh, great. We see a little video with Mr. Scott. We click on this one, and it takes us to a little video of an Elmo doll on fire. And we click on this bottom one, and it takes us to the marketing automation sign-up page. Now, under most situations, that's pretty successful. But with marketing automation, we want to be much more involved with the user's experience. Here's what that means. Rather than just clicking on this image and it goes to a little video that people get to watch, or clicking on that image that has a video, we want to be able to track what people are doing and seeing and have it trigger an automation. So again, let's say that they clicked on that and it didn't take them to a Star Trek video, but it took them to a video about knee pain. Well, Dr. Starler is going to want to know that somebody visited that, and not only that, but it could potentially trigger an email back to them or some level of interaction. At the very least, it might add something to their client score and segment everybody who clicks on that link into a little folder, so that when we have any sort of knee pain promotion, that we are targeting those people specifically. Now, currently, the way that we did it, by just clicking on the image, highlighting it, and adding a link to it, that's not going to do it. That's going to be a dead end. That's going to take them to that little video, and that's where it ends. However, we're going to go back to the media area, and I'm going to show you how to make this more robust. So we go to Content, Media Center, Videos, and Scotty. So we want to add a trackable link. So we're going to add trackable link. We'll call this We're calling this Scotty Video Email 1 because we can add an infinite number of trackable links because we might use this video for different emails, different landing pages, different promotions. So we want to know when someone clicks on it, the specific email that it came from. Now, when we click on trackable links again, we see that the Scotty Video Email 1 is in there, and we're going to click copy because we want to copy that link. Now we're going to go back to our emails. I'm going to pull up this test email and edit it. Go back to the It's Cool, highlight it, and we're going to replace this link, delete that, and now paste in this link. And this is the trackable link. Now, when someone clicks on this, it's still going to take them to that same video. They're not going to notice any difference. The only difference is now we can use this in marketing automation. We can collect the information and do something with it. Now, the difference between this and something like MailChimp is that in MailChimp, when someone clicks a link, MailChimp is going to tell you, yes, this person clicked the link and this is where it went. But that's where it stops. With this system, it's going to tell you that somebody clicked the link, where it went, but it can also engage it in marketing automation. It can be a trigger. It can trigger an email. Like I said, it can go into a landing page. There's a lot that it can do just by the fact that we know that somebody clicked this. Again, tracking. So let's go ahead and track this one too. I'll go back to Media Center, Videos, St. Elmo's Fire. We're going to add trackable link. And again, we want to name the link very specifically. We may be creating a lot of different links to this same video that we're using in different campaigns. So we're going to copy that. Click on the link. We're going to delete that link and pop in the trackable link. And click Save. Now, question, do we want to add a trackable link here? Well, yes and no. When it comes to tracking a web page, we don't want to track it like it's an individual piece of media, like it's a graphic or a video. In this instance, we would go back to our website tracking and add the website that this goes to. This website here, we would add that as its own trackable website. So what's that mean? That when someone gets this email and they open it, we have tracked that they've opened it. When they click on either of these, we've tracked that they've watched this media. If they click on this, it goes to a website, and the website is already being tracked. Think of it as like a little drone that's following you around as you drive around the city, logging every place you've been and how long you have been there. The advantage is that by creating specifically targeted emails, we're going to get to know our customers better than we ever have before. We're going to be watching their behavior. We're going to be monitoring their likes and dislikes based on the clicks that they do. When we set up the automation system properly, it's going to be automatically segmenting your audience. It's going to be recognizing, like for Dr. Starler, when somebody is looking at specific information that has to deal with pain, when somebody's looking for specific information that has to deal with nutrition. Two very different markets that we want to approach in a very different way. So when they look at different pieces of media, when they go to different landing pages, we want to respond back to them very specifically. We don't want to send them an email that says something like, are you having knee pain? Are you looking to lose weight? Are you feeling tired? That's sort of like somebody coming up to you and saying, is your name Joe? Is your name Steve? Is your name Bob? As opposed to someone coming up to you and saying, hey, Tim, so good to see you again. When we're being related to on a very personal level, on a very specific level, we are more likely to react positively and feel good about that company and want to work with them. So that is the Media Center, that's the file upload area, and that is the emails. As always, to be continued.